Okay, we live. I don't know where Teddy at. Teddy, he usually beat me to the show. And we got Sarah already in the stage. She's already in the building. Um, so today we have a special guest today. Today we have a special guest, Sarah Queen, and we just want to give her flowers before she gets on the show. I'm still waiting for my powerful co-host Teddy. However, I'm gonna hold it down before till he gets here. Um, we want to give her flowers for the way that she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way she stands on her faith, all the way together. I can say that I definitely look up to her. She's definitely powerful, and I've known her for a very, very long time. So I am very, very astonished for her change in life. Um, but what I can say about her, even when she was younger, when she set her mind on something, she did it to the fullest, 100%. No halfway in, halfway out. She never straddled the fence, always. Um, but I do want to say she's remarkable because of her discipline. She's out. I'm a Muslim man. She's a Muslim woman, but she be putting me in check sometimes. She got to put me in check because I be falling off my ding, and it's easy to fall off your ding. So that's another reason why we got her here today, so she can speak about the how beautiful it is, to be Muslim. There you go. Teddy's in the building. We're gonna bring Teddy in, and then we're gonna bring Sarah on board. Teddy, where you at? There you go. I don't usually beat you here, man.
Listen. I'm gonna tell you something.
Go ahead.
These last couple weeks, man, I I enjoy coming in around 8:02, 8:03. You
You
know
like
what I'm saying?
I
I
bet
lo-
you.
the role reverse. I love the role reverse, man. That's what bros do. How we doing? How we doing, good sir?
Outstanding, outstanding. Um,
Oh,
this gonna be a good show, man.
listen. I remember last time we had Sarah on. It was an impactful show, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Okay, yeah. I went ahead and introduced her. Got her already. She ready to launch.
All right, let's listen. Look, let's dive right in. Now, let's dive right in.
And look, like I said, she disciplined, punctual, just like you. She was already in. She probably beat me in the building for real, but
Listen, God is good. I love it.
Okay, let's go. Let's get her in. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Man, you clear over there. What you got, a 4K? What you got? You got the 22 iPhone 22.
Pretty, it's look clear, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Outstanding.
Good,
yes,
good, good.
it's
Yeah,
very clear.
I don't got no thing like no stand or nuts. I'm just gonna be holding it with like this because I'm waiting on my daughter's soccer.
Oh man, you look like you got a stand. It look like your phone came with a stand.
Okay, right? Like it just come out the box with stands, right?
Right. So
So,
how's your day going today?
my day is going really well. Alhamdulillah. I'm here at my daughter's soccer, waiting on her. I'm doing the soccer mom thing right now, so um, it's going great. I'm in Texas. I moved out here last year. I think last time when I was online with y'all, I was in Virginia, and then I came out here. That's an amazing story too. Whenever we get into it, but yeah. So that's what's going on with me.
Man, it sounds like Texas is the place to be. Man, everybody moving to Texas.
Yeah, it's a lot of diversity out here. It's a lot of Muslims.
Hmm.
It's the weather's. I mean, they said it was like hot in the summer. It was okay to me. I had been living in Jamaica before, so it really wasn't that bad. And it was more or less like it was a calling for me to come out here. It wasn't like something I had even know I was gonna come out here. It was dropped on my spirit when I was to come out here.
Listen, it chose you.
It chose me. I was to be praying, and when y'all first came on the scene, I was a new Muslim, and I was praying all the time, and I was doing my prayers. But every time I would get on my face, I would get this uncomfortable feeling that where I was at, I wasn't supposed to be there. I'm like, well, yo, what is you doing? If you don't want to be here, then where I'm supposed to be at? Because why you keep telling me, why you keep making me uncomfortable when I'm praying? And that's, I just was like, one day I was just like walking and I just heard Houston. I was like, Houston? I never even know nobody in Houston. I'm like, Houston? And I'm like keeping this to myself. Like I'm not gonna tell nobody this because this sounds crazy. I'm not gonna tell nobody this. And I told one person, and then I was like, I just knew the vision. Supposed to go to Houston. I kept seeing this stuff on Houston. I started seeing like TV, Houston, license plate say Houston, all these signs. I was like, why Houston? I just started knowing there were Muslims out here without knowing there were Muslims out here. A lot of Muslims out here. And then, like I said, then I just started getting the feeling. And then I was like, all right. So I had a vision. I was supposed to come out here. I told one friend, she's like, I thought you was going to go to Houston. I was like, you know what? I'm supposed to go to Houston. So I reached out to one friend in this one group, and then she was like, I got you. The next day, these sisters called me up and said, don't worry about it. We're going to host you. I'm like, well, I'm thinking like the regular way. You come out here, you gotta find us somewhere to stay, you gotta find a hotel. No, I came out here. These sisters put me in their house. They straddled me around all weekend from this person's house, this person's house. I got a house that same weekend.
Alhamdulillah.
Got a house that same weekend. Came back and was like, I guess I'm moving to Houston. Then I moved down here with nothing. Came down here with nothing, just on faith. I'm like, well, if you said I'm supposed to do it, then you're gonna make it happen. Then my cousin called me, said she just left Kuwait. I got a truck for you. I'm about to come down there. I'm help you figure out stuff. Got here, another sister called me and said, don't worry, we gotta give you a couch. Someone else called, said I got you a bed. Someone else called you, said I got stuff for the kids. Next, my house was full up in 2 weeks.
So look, so do you notice that ever since you reverted and you became Muslim, your faith is way stronger than it's ever been?
I mean, yes, yes. It's like on another level. It's because I just like if you told me to go out there, then I'm just gonna go out there. Then you're gonna figure it out. I'm not gonna be like sitting around like, oh, I'm like you're gonna figure it out, and I'm just gonna sit back and wait, and that's what happens.
So when you hear the words "the beauty of being Muslim," what does that do to your heart?
Um, the beauty of right.
Hmm.
Um, we believe that we were all born Muslims. We were all born. We all come from our Creator.
Hmm.
We all come from that source. Whether we believe in Neanderthals or we believe in, we came from Africa, or we believe we came from animals or monkeys, whatever it is, whatever people want to say, we all know that we came from a creation.
Hmm.
And when we say Muslim, it's that we are saying that we are giving praise to our creator. So when I say the beauty of being a Muslim is like I feel the beauty of saying I'm giving the honorable, like the highest form of saying I am excited and happy to say that I am come from my creator. I'm not giving homage to nothing else. I'm not giving no other being praise. I'm only giving my creator praise. I'm not giving the sun praise, the moon praise. I'm not giving an idol praise. I'm only giving my creator praise. So that makes me excited because it's like, I know to him I want to return. So it's like it's just that joy. Like, yeah, I'm giving praise to that. I'm not giving nothing else that praise.
You feel like you're giving a full investment.
Yeah, like the full investment. I'm not giving anybody else that thing. I'm not giving love that. I'm not giving a man that. I'm not giving a friend that. I'm not giving money that. I'm not giving any sort of earthly thing that. Nothing. No career that. Just only that. The only thing is that is more important in life is nothing is more important than my creator because nothing else can do what my creator does for me. Anything else comes after the creator.
Because the creator can create everything for you.
Yes.
That's crazy. You answered that perfectly because my next question was, what did Islam give you that the world couldn't give you?
That's a good one. What Islam gave me that the world can't give me is peace.
Hmm. Peace.
It's like like I'm looking at a tree right now. A tree is very still.
Hmm.
Like the world is moving, it's constantly happening. People are always leaving and going. Our moments right now is fleeting. Our conversation is coming and going. You know, um, but what Islam gives you is that stillness. It gave me that stillness that nothing else could give me. Like I used to be I literally like I used to like you're chasing something. You're constantly like looking for something or wanting something or needing something. Like I was thinking at one point if I got to the highest level of maybe money at one point, or if I got to the, if you own something, or if you own land, or if you get to a business, or you get to something somewhere in this world, you would be able to be that thing. You would be able to be that. And it's all an illusion. Like it never really gets there.
Mm-hmm.
So what Islam taught me is like it gave me that, like, I don't need to get anywhere.
You there?
I'm there. You know? And even like in Islam, a lot of the stuff that we are learning about time and all that was, all medicine, that was pretty much all like discovered by scholars of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
That them hit them those questions and those answers, were all given by God. And those people that think deep, they were given out, those, what's it called? Like they were given like those secrets through God. And it gives you the peace that but even they acknowledge that they didn't get this from themselves.
You know,
Because even the like the language, even learning how to speak comes from God. Even learning different languages comes from Him. So even trying to understand, articulate, trying to get words, and all it takes for us to even be able to come to this state in life, to be able to get to this point where we can even talk, that takes so much time. It takes so many years. You have to go through a baby stage and then learn how to speak with your mom and your dad, teaching you how to even put, words together. That takes a long time to even get into kindergarten to even know how to do A, B, and C. Then you got to do first grade, second grade. It takes so much time for us to even be able to get to this talk. And all that time while we're getting to this level, life was already happening. It was
mm-hmm.
already happening. It was already here. And that to me is like, oh, I'm just now getting here. This already happened before I got here. Islam gave me that, like, oh, you late, or you not even, like you're not even late, but you good. This is the stillness that this is already happening. It's gonna happen when you're gone. It gave me that peace.
You one of the Muslims that I really respect because you actually went to school for religion, right?
Yeah, actually, yep.
So you know multiple sides of a lot when it comes to religion.
Yeah,
So my question is, okay, you know how at some point in your time you feel like you like real close to Allah,
yeah.
and then other times you may feel like you're far away. Why do you think that your faith like fluctuate up and down, up and down, up and down? Because I was reading how like I'm a new revert as well, so sometimes I catch myself far away, but I never stray too far where I can't come back. And I was reading that it was saying your Islam will always fluctuate. What, from your point of view, why do you think that takes place?
I think it takes place. It's kind of like this. Like yesterday, it was somebody said to me they were they were on some medication, and the medication was helping them.
Mhm.
They were on medication. It was helping them, and they were feeling good. And then they said they stopped taking the medication. They don't need it because they feel good.
Mm. Oh,
Don't that kind of seem
that's an
like,
example.
huh? Don't that kind of seem backwards? The medication made you feel good, so you felt so good that you feel like you don't need to take it no more.
Mhm.
That's what it does. Like, I don't need this medication no more. I'm good. And it's like the medication was what made you feel good. Why would you not take something making you feel good? That's what's getting you there. Is that constant? That's making you feel good. Why would you stop taking the things making you feel good? That makes no sense. But we do that as humans.
Mhm.
It's like, you working out or you feeling good. And like, okay, I'm feeling so good. I'm losing weight. I should get a cheat day. The cheat day is out made you feel good. The eating right was what made you feel good. That's what made you feel so good was the eating right, not the cheat day. Like we do this thing like as humans, like it's like we like, oh well, I'm doing good, so I should do bad. Like that. No, like the thing making you feel good is what you should still keep doing good. So if the prayers is what's making me feel good, even my body's telling me, oh, you don't need these prayers. I'm like, well, that's backwards.
Mhm.
Clearly, I'm only feeling good because I'm praying. I'm only feeling good because I'm praying. I'm not feeling good. So if you go to church, say for instance, you're in church and you're a Christian, and every Sunday makes you feel good. If every Sunday makes you feel good, if you went to church every day, wouldn't you feel good?
Mhm.
You would not only just feel good on Sundays, you would feel good every day if you went to church every day. That's why when I went to Bible school, I liked it every day because I was in Bible school every day. So it was like church all day long. I was learning every day. I was reading my Bible every day. I was studying every day. I was praying every day. I was on a schedule every day. I was fasting on the times of the fast. I was constantly around people that was in that was in the book. So constantly every day we was in that space. So I was in that bubble. So I feel like you fall off, people fall off because, or you feel like it goes up and down because the thing that makes you feel good, you stop doing it. And that's why I like Islam, because it's a 5 times a day to remind you. That alarm goes off 5 times a day. So even if someone says, well, I don't want to be a Muslim, or I don't want to believe in Allah, or I don't, I still want to, believe in Jesus Christ, and I just want to worship Jesus Christ. So then why can't you still just do 5 times a day prayer? You can still do the 5 times of prayer because you're still going to feel good. If you feel good praying on Sunday and you like that church worship music on Sunday, you're going to fall off by next Sunday because you have not been in that space. Sunday feels so good because all day you're playing church music. All day you're in that space. You're saying, I'm not going to cuss today. You're saying, I'm not going to be doing nothing bad today. It feels so good on Sundays. You can even remember how Sunday feels. You can feel the vibe of Sunday. You can feel your grandma if you was in church with your grandma. You can feel your grandma on Sundays because there was a cooking going on Sunday. There was food in the house on Sundays. And all you got to do is just keep that space every day, and then you never fall off. You don't ever let nobody, you just pretend every day is Sunday. And so every day feels like Sunday. And so every day feels, you never going to fall off.
It's so crazy because I don't know you since I was, what was, like 16, 15,
I think we was actually 14.
14, 15.
You was a little older than me. I thought you was big. I was like, oh my God, he's so grown. Like, oh my God, I'm like 14. He's a big person.
Nah, I was only what, yeah, 2 years older.
Yeah, but to me, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was a little bit more mature. But look, this is the thing though. You was always in church. So my thing about always being in church, you've always been praying. I'm still trying to figure out how you got to Islam from being Christian. But before I get there, what would you say about the people that feel ashamed when they miss their prayers? Like, because sometimes some people may feel it like it's inconveniencing throughout their day.
Well, first I wouldn't say, first thing at first, don't be ashamed.
Mhm.
It's normal. You always got this voice in your head telling you like, why do I need this? Religion is just like a man-made thing. Others aren't doing it. You don't got to do that much to be close to God. God gonna love you regardless. That's just too much. Like that's extra. Who's got to pray 5 times a day? Who want to do all that? Like, you know, you just like, I'll be okay anyways. He gonna love me regardless. I would just say, still keep pushing through.
Mhm.
The just keep going. Like if as soon as you realize you missed that prayer, just do that prayer. Do it right then and there. If you like, sometimes I'll miss my prayer and I can't do an actual sit down prayer. I'll just pray. If they say don't pray in your car, I'm like, look, man, I can't worry about. They say I'm gonna pray in my car real quick.
Adore.
I'm just gonna do it. You know what? Hey, look, I'm just gonna pray in my car real quick. Like I'm just gonna sit here and pray in my car because if I keep saying I'm gonna wait till later when I have time to sit down or kneel down and I got the kids thing, I got this thing, I'm never gonna get to it. So I say, you know what? I'm just gonna do it right now. The alarm, let me do it right now because or if I get later on, I say, oh man, I didn't do all the 5. But it's like, okay, you didn't do all 5, but you did 4. So let's do one real quick. Let's get this in real quick. So I'm like, all right, let me not be ashamed. Let me just start congratulating myself on what I am doing. Like, why you always gotta be, inner critic? Why you always gotta be worrying about I'm not doing all the time? Let me talk about what I am doing. Then I realized a lot of times I'm like, that ain't God talking to me. Because if God was only concerned about me with the 5 prayers and he was getting on me, he wouldn't have ever loved me enough to even tell me to come to Islam. He
Mhm.
would have been like, oh, you're not doing the 5 prayers, you're not worthy, I'm never going to ask you. He's the one that told me about it. Come over here. So why would he now condemn me because I'm not doing it? I wasn't doing it before I became a Muslim, and he still loved me enough to say, come over here. So I just still say, let me just keep trying and keep pushing. That makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. But how did you get over here? How how did you that transition? Because you've been Christian for how long? You was Christian from a kid to what? To
I've
about
been a Christian. I got baptized when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
I got baptized. I used to bring people to church. I think I might. Did I actually come to church?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I,
saying. Ever
I
since I
brought
met,
everybody to church.
yeah,
Don't be. Um, how is what because I was when I was in Bible college, I was like I was learning more about it, and there was some questions like when I got to the Bible and I'm asking questions like, look, there are some parts of this is not making sense. Like there are some parts about what Jesus peace be upon him said that you guys are not filling me in, and there are some things about history that's not making any sense. It's just like you can start to think about it like, okay, so why would y'all, making people convert? Why was y'all burning up Bibles? Why y'all make King James make this version? Like it wasn't nothing to do with me being mad about being a Christian or anything like that. Not being mad about Christianity. It was just that it's not making historical sense. If you're reading it, it doesn't make historical sense. If you read about the Council of Nicodemus, like, okay, so what happened right here? That why did y'all change and take these books out? Where are these books at? Why did y'all do that? I'm not even going against my own religion. I just want more to know more about my religion. I want to understand what I'm, about more of Jesus. I love this. I love what y'all said he did, but y'all not making no sense to me, and y'all contradicting what he's saying he did. And I'm trying to understand what happened. Like y'all saying James said this. Where did James come from? Who's John? I wasn't mad about it. I just want to know. So I started just doing more research back then, and like I couldn't get to it. Like, you're not allowed to ask those questions or, and I'm like, so why was he white? Like, what the heck? Like, how was he ever a white guy? Like, where's the real image of him at? I want to know him. And so I started to seek him for myself. And he said he was the way. And he was like, I'm the light. I'm the way. I'm the way to the truth. And it was like, I'm the way to the truth. And it was like, okay, I'm the way. So let me follow him. So as I started to follow him and follow what he was saying, and I was like, and they keep saying, imitate him, be like him. And it's like, okay, he prayed. He was praying to God all the time. He was very humble. He wasn't wanting anybody to be, like to worship him. He's like, get off me, like don't, So it was like, okay, and I was like, okay, but if y'all following him, and this is the religion y'all saying y'all following him, then why are y'all like making up stuff about him that's not true? Why are y'all saying that you can follow Jesus and you can drink? Why are you saying that you can follow who I'm following behind and saying it's okay for you to sin and then say he's gonna just be all right with that? He never or why y'all saying that he came here, he died, and then he's a God, but then he died on the cross, but he's a God, and it's like I was like, where he say this at? And nobody's acting like I'm not allowed to ask these questions. And I'm like, and he's saying seek knowledge. He's telling you to seek knowledge, like seek knowledge. You're allowed to have knowledge. You're allowed to have knowledge. You're allowed to be smart. So as I kept going down the path and wanting to understand, then it was like, okay, it leads you to God. Like he says, I'm leading you to God. And every prophet that came here always led you to God. They would always even when Moses was here, he was like, yo, quit worshiping like cows. Like y'all, I leave y'all for 2 minutes and y'all out here worshiping a calf. Like, go to God. Like everybody, every one of them was like worshiping like God. So it was like, so let me find this God that they're talking about. And as I kept searching for God and wanting to know who God was, then it was like I just started to feel this deeper feeling like, let me worship my creator, and I'm not supposed to worship anybody he sent down here. And and it was hard because it was like, wow, people gonna be like, what? Like I'm out thinking my family, friends, like you giving up Jesus, and I'm like, no. And I love him. Like most of my times when I dealt with any sort of situation, I've always called out to Jesus. That's always I've called out to Jesus. And I know that there's power in that name. So I've never denied that there's power in the name of Jesus because that name is what's caused me, when I used to be sick, I would call out that name. When I used to be in problems, I would call out that name. And then it's like, so after that, I was like, yeah. So then that's when I end up having dreams and visions about, as I started to I said, forget it. Y'all saying y'all Christians and y'all doing all the most. I don't want to be affiliated with that. I just want to be around people that actually really love Jesus. And I asked for where them people were. and that's what it ended up being a Muslim. Like I just was like, I don't want to be around hypocrites anymore. I want to be around people that really just love you. Like if you say you love him, let me find y'all. And then as I did that, I just started to feel bad if I tried to smoke a cigarette. I tried to just be rebellious, like I'm just gonna just forget it because everybody's doing whatever they want to do. All these Christians, everybody gets to drink and smoke and go out, and then they get to kick it, and I feel bad for every little thing I do.
So you feel like it actually makes you feel more accountable for everything that you do that is considered like haram. Like even though you may walk the wrong path here and there, it almost like it sets something in your head like, oh yeah, I gotta reset and do this right.
Yeah, it's like even if you don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that I want to. Like sometimes I think to myself, oh, why can I just like go it like why wouldn't I just show my body, like why wouldn't I just be back to regular show my body off? Like why wouldn't I do that? Like no one's telling me that. And I'll get mad at, I'll get mad and be like, I'm gonna do what I want. And I'll hear God be like, well, do it. No one's making you. I mean, like, no one's like, and no one's around you saying you don't got to do this. Like, but okay, go ahead. And I just feel like, no, I can always feel like, nah, I'm not
So
supposed to do that.
So we're saying that how beautiful do you feel it is to be a Muslim woman, just a Muslim woman at that? Because I remember you were speaking about how in other countries how the women are covered, and how a lot of the men possess a lot more riches because there's not that the distractions.
I mean, I think like, I mean, if you ask any Muslim woman, they will tell you that they feel you feel so much more beautiful. Now, there's a difference between, like you said, I like what you said the beauty of being a Muslim. Like there's a difference between cute and pretty, and there's something about being beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you only can reach beauty, like, it's like a flower, it's only beautiful for a time period, right? Beauty it doesn't, you don't always, a little kid's not beautiful. It takes time to get beautiful, right? But being a Muslim, it just like you just always feel beautiful. If that makes sense. You just always feel, you don't feel cute. You don't feel sexy. I don't feel like I'm sexy. Because sexy is selling sex. I don't
Mm.
need to sell sex. I feel, you feel beautiful. You feel like you're just walking in your whole feminine energy. And then as you're in that feminine energy, you know, guys going to automatically treat you
Differently.
different.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't get, I don't know, they just know how to talk to you. You're just gonna get treated differently. And if something is beautiful, you just treat it differently, and you value something better when it's beautiful.
Man, so why do you feel like Muslims get? You know how Muslims get so excited when people revert, or when you meet another Muslim? Do you know it's like a different type of feeling? Like maybe like, oh, you reverted. Everybody gets excited.
Yeah, that's true.
What is that? What do you? Why do you think that takes place?
I mean, cause you're like, welcome to the fam. Like, it's about to, you know what it is now. It's like you you like you about to be supported. Like when somebody's is in a sorority or something like that, and they know, okay, I'm in a sorority, and now you about to get this love because, everywhere you go, they gonna say AKA, or they gonna say this or that. When you become into a Muslim, wherever you go, you good. Wherever you go, you're gonna be okay. It is because you just said I'm a Muslim, and you got those special keywords like Alhamdulillah, or Assalamu alaikum. Y'all speak these certain languages, and you like. And then you also know that in their afterworld, like in their afterlife, you're like, wow, like you get to really go to Jannah, and all your sins are forgiven. You've been forgiven for everything you've done, and now you good. You're cleared of all that past stuff that you've done. Like you get to have a new life and be a new creature. So it's just like you're excited for that like a new baby.
Man, look, I love talking to you about this. Teddy, go ahead, man, because I know Teddy sitting over there. He's loaded.
Nah, listen, man. when you two get on together, it's time for me to be quiet and just listen, and just enjoy. I do a lot of talking each and every day, so no, I definitely appreciate that. But Sarah, I want to ask you, like, um, let's talk to those young black women that are going down that path, that are already on that path, that are nervous. Um, Columbus was the first time I ever saw a black Muslim. Maybe I
Yeah.
saw a couple in Dayton, but I wasn't really paying attention. So Columbus to me, I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. Like I just thought I was the typical person that thought you only can be Muslim if you were born over there,
Yeah, yeah,
naive, stupid
yeah.
stuff. But talk to those. We're gonna talk to the little black girls and the ladies. We're not talking to the men right now. Talk to them. Let them know it's safe.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that too. I used to think they were only Somalians. Yeah, and I was in Ohio. Like, actually, one of my cousins said, "Oh, so you're Somalian now?" And it's like, no, it's not that. It's if you are going down a journey where you're looking to find a deeper relationship with God, and you're like, okay, where do I go, what do I do? I mean, becoming a Muslim is pretty much is that pinnacle. Like, we all as women are trying to get to that space where it's like, all right, this is the end of, okay, like, this is the end of it. This is where I want to end up going to at the end. I want to get back to knowing God. So don't be afraid. Just like, especially in Ohio, there's 1,000 masjids you can go to. You can call up and just tell somebody, I want to be a new revert. I want to come to your masjid, and they'll welcome you in. They'll let you come in. You can come out. You can go over there. So actually, somebody will come pick you up, most likely.
Mhm.
One of the sisters will come get you. They'll take you there, and you can just kind of see what it's like to come to the mosque. You don't got to be afraid. You don't have to be of any other culture. Actually, to be honest with you, Teddy, it's funny you said that because a lot of people don't realize that the first Muslims were African Americans in the United States.
Mhm.
It was the Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam is the first Muslims to ever come to United States. African Americans
Mm,
in New York. It
mm.
wasn't other countries. We opened up the door and they all start coming over here.
Do you think? Let me ask you this: what is, if somebody were to ask you, "Hey, Sarah, what is the difference? What was the difference between Christianity, Muslim, Catholic, certain thing? Like, what is the difference?" If somebody were to ask you that.
Mhm.
So it's little mini arguments, little debates. The difference is between a Muslim and a Christian is a Christian believes that Jesus is God. A Muslim believes that Jesus is a prophet. A Catholic, Catholics, they believe in the same thing, but but a lot of Christians don't believe in what Catholics believe in. Catholics worship a lot more saints. Christians only worship Jesus, but Catholics worship more like Mary, Paul. They worship a lot more saints. That's why people that are Catholic might say they're Christian, but Christians won't say they're Catholic. Um,
Mm, that's
yeah,
heavy.
yeah. So that's why it's called Catholicism and then Christianity. But mainly, it's the argument if Jesus is God or not.
Because I remember I was having a conversation with somebody, with a young lady, um, and she's a pastor's assistant. We were having a great conversation. Um, and I said, "What do you think the difference is between?" Because I was talking about the show and you being on the show. Her sister's actually Muslim, and she said actually the same thing that you just said. And I follow up that to say, why are one? I'm not Muslim, so you two can tell me, is tradition big in the Muslim community, or do you all adapt? Because I feel like, and I've said this time and time again, I don't know, Prince, if you remember me saying this, We are Christians, we are big, we are stuck in tradition, and it's got to be a certain way. And I've always said this is the reason why a lot of people go away from the church. They say they believe in God, they said they believe in Jesus, but it's something about that church that they don't, they're like, yo, that tradition doesn't work. So I say all to say, are Muslims, are you all very traditional, or is there like adapt? Do we adapt based off like generation understanding like there are different things at different time now?
I think that Muslims adapt to the times. Like you understand, like okay, some people were like, okay, this is it his job like this, or people are arguing about how this his job should wear culturally. Everybody's culture dresses different. I'm an American. I'm an American Muslim, so I'm wearing this. If they're Pakistani Muslims walking around with their outfits on, Arab wear theirs, how they do their style. So I think you adapt with the styles. But as far as if people are Christians gonna ever say that Jesus is not God and say that, no. Are Muslims gonna ever say that Jesus is a God? I don't believe they're ever gonna say that. I think that argument. I think because is there ever going to be a time where they agree to that, or and come to the middle and say, because how would you? Because how would they? Christianity is based on that Jesus is God. So then, if you don't say Jesus is God, then you don't have Christianity no more.
Mm.
And if you say Muslim says that there's only one creator who's God. If you say that Jesus is God now as a Muslim, then you can't say out your mouth that there's only one creator. Because now you're saying that Jesus is God. So you wouldn't be able to even say it out your mouth and say that we are. So yes, traditionally they're going to stay the same because you can't submit to the other
Mm.
because it's based around that whole premise.
Why do you think why do you think Christians in the church are less accepting? I feel like sometimes Christians are less accepting. Like it's got to be by a certain way. And then you have Muslims, and I always bring up praying with Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so welcoming. I'm like, hey, do what you got to do. This is how I do it. Um, but if it helps you pray, helps you get closer, do what you need to do. Why do you think that?
I think that because I feel like when it's the truth, you can be free.
Mhm.
He said the truth will set you free. If it's the truth, it's free. It's only tight when it's not the truth. It's only controlled when it's not the truth. You're only so tight when it's not the truth. You got to be rigid when it's not the truth. When it's the truth, it's free. Like when you know somebody, when you tell them the truth, you're like, okay, it is what it is. You're not trying to hold on to nothing. But when you tell them the lie, you got to be like all on it. You got to be tight on it. You got to be on top of it all the time. You can't like let it like you can't loosen up on anything because you're afraid that it will get out. You can't open up the door. You like, come in. I ain't hiding nothing. You can say, come in, look at everything, all of my files. But when you telling a lie, you gotta hide stuff. You gotta keep stuff secret. You can't open up the door to everything. You can't let everybody pick through everything in your files because there's gonna be you might be found out. Islam is like about the truth. Like, go ahead. If you want to go ahead and seek it out, go ahead and find anything you want. Muhammad, peace be upon him, was like,
Mm. But I stopped there.
You were, because yours froze for a second. Give it a, yeah, because she cooking right now.
Yeah, man, we had some crazy comments going through here. I had to ban some people. Well, I had to ban one person.
Well, I can't see the comments. What they say?
I didn't even want to even do that. It was, I don't know, somebody was bored. Um, they was talking about Muslims. Uh, yeah, we'll discuss it after the show, but it was majority of the comments are great, but
Yeah,
we had one person that was
it's always one. It's always one. It's always one person. I'm gonna say this while we trying to get Sarah back in because
yeah.
I know the girls probably have
sorry
their
about
daughter.
that. My other
No,
phone
you're good.
died.
No, you're
No, but
good.
my bad. Yeah. What's up,
No,
man?
so I was it's funny that you said something earlier in the show. You said why you're in school, he was like, "There's got to be more. Like
Mhm.
I'm missing something." And what I have always said when it comes to the Bible, I said, "Nah, it's some stuff to me like the apple." And y'all know I'm a comedian, so I take the Bible when I really just make comedy shows out of it when I do Christian comedy. And I said, "Ain't no way it was an apple." I said, in my mind, because God allows us to do this. He gives us the brain to think. But I said, it's deeper than the apple. Something happened. I just feel like the Bible, based off centuries, gets dumbed down a little bit. Guys like this set of people can't handle this. So I'm whatever it is. And I've always said when it comes to that Bible, I love it, but I said it's gotta be more. It's gotta be deeper.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've been lucky where I've had pastors that are like, it could be, let's talk about it, let's get there. This is what we want you to do as a Christian, as somebody trying to figure out your faith. Like we want you
Yeah.
to do that. But also I've had people like, if it's not in that Bible, that means it ain't. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I think we all gonna die one day and be like, wow. And I'm gonna be able to say, I told you, I knew there was more. I
You like
knew
I
there
know
was
it.
more.
Yeah. No, see that thing that you're talking about. That thing is like it's the thing that God gave us. It's that thing to seek knowledge. It's that thing to want to seek knowledge. And that's where, like I said, when I when I read the Quran, it I don't know, like I said, I don't know what it is, but as a Christian, you be scared to read the Quran. Like I don't know why it's like, oh, if I read the Quran, then I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. Like
But if
I'm
you're a
reading the Quran.
Muslim, you'll read the Bible still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no longer a Christian. Like, well, why not? Like, how did you not be a Christian? You read a book.
Mhm.
You read a historical book. The same way the Bible is a historical book, you read another historical book. And as you read the historical book, which is an historical book, it has been, if you want to look it up, it's deemed as a historical book, never been changed. So if you read into it and you see some fallacies in it, you as a human are allowed to go back and forth in yourself, look at certain things, go read other books, say I don't believe in this, I don't agree with this, this don't make no sense. Let me find a book to that. Where that book leads to that book? Let me find a history of that. Let me travel across the world if you want to. You're allowed to, as a human. Like I have a cousin who's traveled everywhere. She's been like in like in tombs that's underground, like seeing mummies and like finding artifacts from like over in Ethiopia. Like you're allowed to go, and if you want, you can even go to the Christian church in Ethiopia and figure out how actually how the Ethiopian church has even like the like more of like the artifacts in the church over here. They don't even have nothing about no Jesus being white or nothing over Ethiopia, like how he looked, what it was like over there. You can go if you want to do that, you're allowed to as a Christian, but for some reason we're like you're it's like you are not allowed to do that. Like you just stop yourself right there. Like I'm not allowed to look at any other book. I can't look. But why does it have annotations down there? Why does it have like all those things you're allowed to read and highlight to be able to see where this come from? Why can't you like see the history of James? Like who was James? Who was he? Where did he come from? What was he around? Who was his parents? Who was he saying? I'm just not gonna listen to this guy. You understand? And that's what I feel like you're allowed to do as a Christian. But like I said, it's like a Muslim. Like we're like, hold up, where this come from? Where this hadith come from? Who wrote that? How long that been around? What scholar wrote that? I'm gonna need some facts. I'm not following that until I know. And how many people can verify that's true? Well, I'm not following it. That's it. And it's always constantly questioned.
Well, and I think but see, the questions, that's the great part because that means you're always learning. I think the problem is um, people don't want to admit they have questions because they feel like questions is like is defiant. When it's not really defined, you're a human. And again, if we all are based off our hearts, and I tell people this, if we're based off our hearts and deep down you have these questions and you don't want to ask them, what you gonna do when you get to the pearly gates? When God looks at your heart and says, hey, but you had all these questions. Well, I believe and I believe that, but well, I get that. But you had questions that little question mark, excuse me, was in your heart for your whole life. It's okay to ask those questions. So it's okay to understand, like, okay, so why did Jesus die at 33? Why wasn't
Mm-hmm.
it 40? Why wasn't it 25? What's the story? I was just telling the young lady, like, yo, like in my brain, I don't understand. Life is like a story to me. And I don't understand that with all this stuff that's going on in the world, why does God allow this to happen in the story if he's God Almighty?
Yeah.
And that's not me saying that I don't believe in him, but I also understand people that are like, hey, I saw my sister get beat up, my mama get beat up. We were
Yep.
hungry. My mama got touched, my sister got touched. And y'all supposed to tell me to keep praying?
Yep.
Because that prayer didn't work. Well, and that's
Yep.
what they say. And then we live in a society of tradition that is like, well, you're not allowed to have those questions. Well, that's the reason they don't want to come to the church
Mm-mm.
because they
Yeah, for
seen
real.
evil. That's all they see. And they're like, there can't be a God.
Yeah.
And we're allowed to have these, like, I 100% say we are allowed to have these questions. I want to pass away and see how all these religions came and how they all were
Yeah.
probably friends at one
Yeah.
time and they all worshiped together. And then
Yeah.
somewhere in life, everybody started doing this because I believe that.
Because like you gotta think about it. So think about it when Jesus, peace be upon him, came down here, right? He came down here and, telling people about worshiping God and getting to God. Now, when he was here, think about it, was he was he saying he was God?
Mm-mm.
I'm asking you that. As a Christian, I would ask somebody, was he saying he was God when he was here?
I don't think he ever said he was God.
I mean, did he say I'm God?
I don't think he ever said he was God.
No, I mean, yeah, he never said I'm God.
Yep.
He would have just said I'm God. It wouldn't be that hard to say, yeah, I'm God. I'm God. Worship me. I'm God. Right? So you have the argument. If you talk to somebody about that, it's like you're not allowed. Like, okay, I said to you, if you never said he was God, and you say, so where the idea come from? And if somebody does research and figures out where it come from, they're like, well, yeah, I did a research. He never said he was God. It came years ago. Years later, they said he was God. And they're saying, so then why do you follow him as he's God? Then you ask the question, well, why do I follow him as God? If you never said he was God, then why can't you just know that he came down here, that he did what he did when he was down here? Why can't you just love Jesus, but why do you have to say he was God? He never said he was God. It's just those type of questions. It's little things like it's just stuff like that that just like it to me it's just like kind of like I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's just when I'm doing my own research as being smart, it's a common sense. Einstein and all of them eventually, if they study science, after a while, even them they always science leads them to God. Even if a scientist after a while doing science long enough, he'll get to a point where he's done enough stuff. He'll be like, yeah, there's a God.
Hmm.
It's just no way after a while you can find any sign. They're like, well, yeah, there's a God. Like I've tried explaining this and that. I've done the numbers. I figured out the stars and the moons and this and that. And he, okay, well, yeah, there's a God. But the atheists will be over there arguing with somebody like that. You know, so so it's always them people there, they're always out there. But when I ask you, you say you're a Christian. You know that he never said he was God. Then how can you claim to say I'm following something, knowing that the person I'm following never said they were God? Why do we do stuff like that? Right? So those are the type of things that lead us down these rabbit holes and these arguments. Is like, why do we do that kind of stuff?
Well, I think that's the
Go back.
word argument. I think that's the problem because
Well, not
you
just
don't have
okay.
people
Even if
like
it's a
us.
question, not even an argument, it's a debate, like a simple, you figured it out, and then people still do it.
I think more people. I think more people need to have conversations like this where it's not me saying Sarah's wrong. It's me listening to Sarah, asking Sarah questions. Sarah then listens to Teddy. We're asking questions. At the end of the day, we ain't never gonna know until it's time.
You know what?
But there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm gonna
Go
say this.
ahead, Pray.
Just like you spoke about tradition earlier, it's a lot of things that people do right now as far as holidays that they know there aren't real holidays, but they still celebrate the holiday, knowing that it's not, and they continue to do it. So it goes back to what you were saying about tradition. I think a lot of things is just traditional. It could be right in front of your face, and you can know it's not that, and you will still follow it because it's just from generations. Until somebody in the family decides to say, you know what, I'm standing on this, and this is what it is, and somebody has to change the lineage. It's always somebody in the family that does it. Like you were saying, when you reverted, everybody in the family always looks at you some type of way, like, oh my God, you don't believe in Jesus. No, it's not that I don't believe in Jesus. That's not what it is. It's just that I don't just follow suit. I'm going to go do my research and I'm going to read because it's not making sense. Majority of the family will get to the point where it doesn't have to make sense. Don't ask no questions. Just do what your
Yeah,
grandma does, your great grandma does, and everybody did from years on,
Mhm.
all the way back to slave ships. We're just gonna keep following that.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That didn't get that didn't sit right with me either. Like, okay, why was y'all trying to force that on slaves?
Mhm.
Like, why was you forcing this on slaves so much? Like, what was we was what was we over there worshiping before y'all came through with all this? You know, like I'm not. It's like we neglect. We are so against everything they did in slavery, but we will take that part. We will take that part and keep that. Like, but everything else we don't want none they did, but keep that part. I mean, some of it just some of that part me. When it's hard to be pro black. It's hard to be really, really pro black and take that as a form of religion. That my heart also couldn't. I couldn't take that in.
Mhm. I wa- I
I
was
think
I was kind of
go ahead, Pray.
confused at the fact that the slave owners were praying to Jesus for more slaves, and the slaves were praying to be free. So at that point, I was thinking, like, who was supposed to be answering? Who was he answering? So I didn't understand. I was confused at that. So you're giving me something to you telling me I'm supposed to pray to be free, but at the same time, you praying for more of me. It's just that a lot of stuff just didn't make sense.
And to me, I'm gonna be honest. They didn't want us to learn.
That's why I was
That
so
that's a
wondering why they want us to learn that so much. Like, and
that
then
they
you
didn't
gotta
want us
think
to
about it.
read.
They didn't want us to. We wasn't even allowed to worship. You gotta think about it. Africans was worshiping God, like worshiping God, knowing about the wind and knowing about the earth. They said that was considered witchcraft. Anything that had to do with us was considered witchcraft. Anything that like everything else was considered a pagan. But the only thing you can only worship was that. It just if you do the research, it's all out there now. At this point, it's just like it's all out there, and you can make your own understanding, your own judgments if you really want it. Like if you want to understand it and get it. So I don't know, like you said, it would be hard for me to be an atheist. If I was to argue anything else, it'd be hard for me to be atheist because of the point is like, how could I say there's not a God? That would be hard for me to prove that. I'll be hard for me to prove there's no God. You know, Like you said, we all gonna say but how do you know that? How do you know that? How you know about the pearly gates? What inside you knows that?
Something is something, some seed in me. There's some pearl. It may not be no pearly gates. It may not be a lot of stuff, but there's something in me. And I just listen. We talk. I remember this conversation 2 years ago that we all had 2 years ago in March because we're a month late. And I remember, and it's something in me that I stand proud on. That I'm like, listen, I feel like we all worship the same God. Yeah, you mean Muslims may not believe in Jesus. That's okay. We all worship the same God. It may not be pearly gates. It may be a yellow brick road. You know what I'm saying? We may become the wind. I don't know, but
We
something
all
in me
believe in the
says it.
pearly ghost. We believe in the pearly ghost gates too. I was just asking you where'd you believe that? How'd you know that?
It comes. Listen, it's something in me, but also I've been through a lot. So I tell people it's not an hour. It's not enough time for me to be like how good God has been to me and what I've gone through and how I'm able to sit here and crack jokes and talk to y'all. I it's my experience, but it's also my experience that God has given me grace and understanding to be like, yo, like it's how I was raised in the church and they did the best they could. You know what I'm saying? Um, for me to be like, man, there's more out there. And there's in my mind, you can't tell me, and I bring up this example and it's so left to center, but that little boy in Pakistan, because you said Pakistan, that doesn't have the internet, that doesn't know anything about it, and the only thing he knows is that Buddhism. And you tell me if God cracks the sky open today, that little boy gonna burn in hell? I can't believe that.
Mm.
I can't believe that. There's nothing in me that can tell me that. That little boy, that's all he know. That little girl, that's all she know. God
Mhm.
cracked that sky open, and they gonna burn in hell?
Mhm.
Nah, and I can see if it's an idol, if they're worshiping. We all agree that worshiping a thing is wrong. I can see that. I can see that. But you can't tell me the God I serve, the gracious God that we have all been taught, His grace and His mercy. He has a wrath, but His grace and His mercy is gonna send that little boy to hell. I can't, and in
No,
my heart, I
it
be like,
only
nah.
talks about the
He doesn't.
disbeliever.
Yeah, it's somebody that actually has knowledge. Somebody that is ignorant to something does not held accountable for.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing: we're taught. So this is the thing. So Sarah, and you, vibe with me on this one. We are taught if you don't, everything in the Bible is gold, right? So that's what we're taught. You see what I'm saying? If everything in the Bible is gold, that person that doesn't understand it. So you telling me that person that doesn't understand that Bible doesn't get a chance? See, as I get older, I'm like, hold on now, because the Bible is confusing. I love it. I think it's a whole bunch of stories, and I'm like, yo, this is fire. I love it. You maybe think about the same thing about the Quran, but again, that person that doesn't understand is like, oh, that Adam and Eve story. I don't know. Like, I
No,
need
but
some more
see, you know
research on
what?
that.
So it was a situation I had got pulled over. I'm gonna help you with that one. I got pulled over one time because I was driving. I was Ubering, and I was text. I was looking at my phone. I was texting, trying to.
Oh no, you can't. y- She can't even. I don't know how to get her attention.
We can't hear you.
Can't
We
hear.
can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear
She
you.
locked in. We
Can't
can't
hear.
hear you. We
Can't
can't
hear.
hear you.
All
Can
right.
you hear me? My bad.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
He
gotta say
said.
that again.
Oh, he said I was saying that he like I was about to get pulled over by the police, and he was like, and I was looking at my phone trying to Uber and look at directions and da da da, and I was like, he stopped me, and I was like, what? And he was like, I said, why y'all give me a ticket off? And he was like, and I said, I didn't know the laws. He was like, ignorance is still a crime.
Hmm.
Like I'm like, but it like people say what won't hurt me, what I don't know won't hurt me, but what you don't know will still hurt you.
Hmm.
Even though I get it that we might think, oh, God's not going to do that. Da, da, da. That does not mean that I still might not be affected by stuff that I do not know. you still gonna get hurt by stuff you do not know because you didn't take the time or knowledge to understand it. If right now you tell your daughter, if you have a child, you're gonna tell her, hey, look, she like, well, I want to go to that party. You're like, you can't go to the party. Well, I can do what I want to do. If she go to party and get laced with the drugs and get messed up, and she's like, well, you didn't, you just because you didn't know doesn't mean you're not gonna feel the pain of the drugs of that hurting you. Just because you didn't know and just because you didn't have the understanding doesn't mean you're not gonna feel some sort of pain. Now, you say, okay, well, God sent you there, or da 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 da. Hey, it happens. It happens. Like, it doesn't matter that you don't know. It's unfortunate. We're different in the way God thinks. It's unfortunate that some people will feel hell because they did not understand or didn't know. It's unfortunate a little kid, just because they don't know certain things doesn't mean they're not going to get hurt. Just because you didn't know that the white van could hurt you, a white van could kidnap you. Guess what? You know now. You're not gonna know every little thing in the world is gonna keep you from every little pain, but you're still gonna have pain. You didn't know everything and you still dealt with everything and you still have pain. Like you said, I'm giving God the gracious God, for praise and all that. But you didn't know everything and you still dealt with pain. There's things you didn't know any knowledge of and you still had to deal with it. If right now I got sick with something, you might not know till afterwards. You're like, dang, I wish I had known. But guess what? Oh well, you still gotta deal with it. There are things like that. That's how life is. We don't understand it. We think that it's gonna be like all of this, like, oh my God, this this like fairies and like fairies and da 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 da. It don't work like that. It is a lot of times. I just did not know that I was about to get shot or about to get robbed. I didn't know that person would have stabbed me. And it's like, yeah, you ain't gonna know everything, but nonetheless, you're bleeding half to death. And so what you're gonna do right now is, guess you better go in there and try to get a police, get you a hospital person to stitch you up because you're still dying, and that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
But
And they gonna be like that.
I think I think that somewhere, because we all believe in the same God, He's looking at these conversations and smiling, because these are the conversations you got to have. And I feel
Yeah.
like our elders before us would not have done this, and they don't want to do this. Like,
Oh
still
yeah.
to this day, they don't want us to commingle. No, Sarah's a Muslim. She's over there. No, she's the sister with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's where I'm at now. That I like our generation. Y'all a little bit more seasoned to me. Um, that is like, no, we are one. Let's have this conversation. Let me learn about being a Muslim. So yeah, Pring, I'll let you because I know it's getting dark and Miss Sarah gotta
I like
she,
that. I like that. So like, we do here. If you ever there, if like, we do I'm at this a community and we do a lot of, basically what it is a lot of I don't know what's it called. What we call, Brian, when you do a lot of
Okay.
mingling, co-faith or something. The word.
I don't know. You talking about the Umrah?
No, like when you do a lot of faith mingling, or I forget the word. When you put a lot of faith together, we do a lot of stuff with Jews. We do a lot of stuff with Christians. We do a lot of stuff. Interfaith mingling. My bad, interfaith mingling. Like we're doing, me and you, right? It's called interfaith conversations. Yeah.
That'll be good to
but
have.
these are the conversations you gotta have, because somebody's watching. And when I mean somebody, the kids, or an unsaved soul. An unsaved soul. That at the end of the day is a lot of unsaved souls. And somebody's watching like, I don't know what to do. I just feel whatever. And then you see us three different backgrounds, having a great conversation, learning, loving each other. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I be talking about. We didn't see this. Maybe somebody did. I didn't see this. I talked to my pastor a few times. He was great. He was the one that was like, yo, that's a person. Let's talk to them. Let's figure out where they came from. Let's figure out why they're Muslim. It may work for them. That's how, if that gets you to God, boom, you did it. I'm the wrong one to judge. But yeah, it's getting dark over there. So I know, Miss Sarah, we gotta let you go. It's getting dark. I know the kids probably wrapping up. So pray and do your thing.
I'm gonna say we definitely appreciate having you. And we're gonna have to continue this conversation. Definitely got to.
Yeah, I definitely I definitely enjoyed it. I would say to anybody's out there who is thinking about, whether you are in your walk right now and you are, you just want to get a more understanding of who God is and you or who you are in God, your spiritual walk, and it ain't got to be religion, and you're between Christianity, Muslim, and you just don't really know what it is you want to do for yourself or whatever. I pray you just dig deep in yourself and your side and just ask God, to lead you and guide you to where you need to be at, what works for you, and I pray that you're able to be surrounded around people that you have a good community. If you were church hurt, I pray that you'll find a good church. If you're a Muslim and you had a bad experience being a Muslim or a Christian, I pray that you'll find yourself back to God. And don't think the world is going to give that to you. That's the biggest deal of that. The world is not going to give that to you. You have to find that in God. And I do pray that, you want to take your shahada, reach out to me or Brandon, Brian. And I'm sorry, no, it's
Amir, go
Amir.
ahead. Yeah, Amir. There you go.
Amir, Zayed. Reach out to
Go
us.
ahead.
And if you want to go to a nice church in Ohio, you're looking for a good pastor. Teddy seems to have a good pastor for you.
Mhm. Man, you made this real easy. You always make it
Teddy,
easy.
I don't know why you don't just go ahead and just take like, you don't
Hey,
even need
listen.
the
There you
shahada. I mean, at this point, just say these words right now. Say it.
go. Look,
Just get out your mouth. I believe there is one God. Go ahead.
look,
Go ahead. I
Hey,
believe there is one God.
hey, I
look.
believe that we all worship the same God. That's
There
what
you
I'll
see?
say. That's what I'll say. That's what
Yeah,
I'll
yeah. You
that's
you
what
might as well just say you believe there is one God. That's it.
listen, we all worship the same God. That's what I got for you, Miss Sarah.
All
I
right, all right.
got you. I got you. I promise. Trust me,
Yeah.
praying's the advocate. It's funny because I told a friend of mine, I said, watch the show and watch what happens. And I was waiting for you to say something.
I mean, I'm always gonna say, I'm always
She
gonna say,
always says it. She say it all the time. Like until he doing Ramadan again, he's all it's alignment.
Listen, that Ramadan, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that until the good Lord calls me home, man, because that 30 days is like, and then me and Praying talked about it, 2030, it happens twice in 1 year.
mm,
And I looked at him, man. Remember when we talked about it? I said, what's gonna happen in 2030 that we need Ramadan twice in the same year? What
mm,
are we gonna go through? What strength do we need? Because that's
mm,
boot camp. I always say Ramadan's boot camp to me. That is 30 days of pure. It's great, but it's pure hell, man. Because the devil he plays with me, like and that's another conversation.
That was
So
actually
what are we?
up during that time.
What are we doing in 2030? What are we going to experience in 2030 that prayer really needs to happen and fast really needs to happen? And for me during the holiday, this is new for me. Like I love to eat during the holiday. I fatten up during the holiday. So this is gonna be new because I cut out the sugar. So no, we all serve the same God, Sarah. We all on the same page. You know,
Look at
I'm
her
just a little
face.
bit. Listen, I see it. Listen, she went dark for a while. Then listen, as soon as we start talking about it, a beam of light came out of nowhere.
hey, and anybody on there that, like I said, anybody watching, hey, you ready to come? You ready to be aligned with your authentic self on the outside? It's beautiful,
Listen, man.
and
We
expression on
definitely
the outside.
listen, man. We appreciate you. I appreciate how
Yep,
you made this so simple
yep,
but still powerful.
yep,
Well, I'm
And
young. I enjoy it too. Thank you.
and I appreciate you being knowledgeable
yep.
because I always learn something as well. And it always puts me back on my game. So we definitely gonna take this off of Mental Health Mondays and it's gonna fall onto the other platform as well with Amir Zaid. But we still want to bring you back on Mental Health Mondays periodically. It would be great to have a sit down, but you all the way in Texas. I
Hey,
don't know how often you coming back home.
I'll be in Columbus in June, I think. And I
Uh-huh.
think Mental Health Monday, and somebody, this is great. Like I can imagine if somebody was going through something right now and they was able to get these questions answered today, if their brain was
Hmm.
feeling away. You know, I can imagine how they felt today. You know, I think definitely uplift their brains for real.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm done because I'm gonna let Pring wrap this show up. Um, what you have done, Sarah, for that little black girl, that black woman that watched this, I appreciate you for that because you gave one person hope. You know, a lot of times we look for so many, but you just meet one, and there's gonna be one black girl, or one little girl, or one black woman that isn't sure, feels pressured, and then they saw Sarah and you stopped them from doing a whole lot of stupid stuff. And so I appreciate you. I appreciate your courage, your faith, because I know the devil works. He works on all three of us, but I'm talking to you. And one thing we don't do anymore, because I figured this out, and Pring knows what I'm going to say. We stop giving flowers because flowers die. So we give jury. And
Mm,
so the men of Men's Mental Health Mondays, we give you your jury because the price of jury goes up. And we
mm.
appreciate you. And I can't wait for June because I know Pring, he gonna find out when you come to Columbus and
Hmm.
he gonna make sure that I'm available for that sit down. So I can't wait until we can definitely break bread and have a good time. And I definitely appreciate you so much. And Pring, I'm gonna let you wrap us up.
Thank
Well,
you.
man, I'm gonna say continue wearing your faith with grace, and you always deserve to be honored. Keep doing what you do, and stay on me. Hey, tell I'm gonna holler at Dejan too. We're gonna get that together.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all's platform. Y'all got a platform to do this, and y'all taking the time to do this, like caring about people. I just pray that y'all's platform continue to be blessed. I pray whatever the enemy's trying to do that it cannot work. I come against all demonic forces and principalities and dark rulers of this world that are trying to come up and attack you. I thank you that you send wonderful people and positive people around you to continually put you on the right path. I pray for the ones that are negative and the ones that don't believe in you that you remove them from their path right now. I thank you that you make their platform easy for them, that it grows exponentially. I thank you keep their minds focused on you, keep their minds focused on the dean, keep their minds focused on what you want from them. Put nothing else above you. Keep their mind focused on the right stuff. Put people around them that's going to continually remind them of who you are. The conversations about you. I pray they go to sleep at night and I think about you. They're going to wake up in the morning and think about you. If they're going around their day to think about you. There's nothing else more important than you. And I thank you for all these things in your name. I pray. Amen.
Man,
And
that
well,
was
we'll end on that.
that was the
That's
best.
all we need.
That was the best closure of Mental Health Monday so far.
We appreciate you.
Amen. Amen.
All right.
Peace.
Well, peace.